Hello, how are you all doing today? Hey. Is this okay? Can you all hear me? Yes. I can have a big mouth sometimes. As I'm styling, feel free to ask any questions. I really been really nervous up until they called my name. So this will go a lot smoother if we interact. Okay? What's your name? Shannon. Nice to meet you. Shannon, do you have any questions about your hair, or is there anything in particular that any particular style, or no? Okay.
I'll ask questions. I'll let you know.
Okay. As you can see, Shanda has what we call a TWA, a teeny weeny afro, for those of you who are not familiar with the hip teeny. It don't feel teeny? No, not no more. Okay, so any quick style, you work corporate America?
No.
No, okay. So you can pretty much pull out any style?
Yeah.
Okay. With the TWA, I don't know if you encounter shrinkage, but a few things that we have come across, a few tips that we've come across as far as dealing with the shrinkage is banding. When your hair is not completely dry after you wash it, if you moisturize it and take it into sections, bright and early in the morning when you're preparing, when you wake up in the morning, you have that routine of brushing your teeth, washing your face, doing all of that. If you wet your hair slightly, or after you've wet it and it's dried a little bit, if you take it into sections and just band it, that will help with your shrinkage tremendously. So what will happen once you're done and you're on your way out of the door, just take your bands out, fluff, and go. Okay? But one of the styles that you can do with the teeny weeny afro, taller than I expected. I'm short. One of the styles with the teeny weeny afro, you can always take, one thing about the natural hair is it doesn't have to be perfect. That's one of the best things about natural hair. A lot of people are always worried about the edges being slicked down smoothly, which isn't always good, because if you're forcing it against this hair growth, it'll make them pop. So you don't want to, it's okay for them not to be perfectly slick. But one way, you can part it on the side and just grab a section. That's okay? Yeah. I was just wet and go with the defined curls, but my fro would shrink so much and I kind of got tired of that. So what I did, I decided to try it again, but on dry hair, and I loved it. So with that, you can always just take it on your hair dry, maybe two-strand twisted, bantu knotted, or different things like that. Or you can also, earlier when I told you about the banding, you can also pull it up in a band and also two-strand twist your bands, which is much easier than going through your whole head and two-strand twisting it. It cuts your time down to half.
So what do you use on the band then?
You can use rubber bands, but because natural hair is typically drier, you really don't want to use the rubber bands. So you can use the anything without the metal, what are they called? The scrunchie. Right, but they have the elastic ones that's wrapped like in silk or right, and with cotton or something, and you don't want to pull it tight. You don't want it really tight. You don't want to pull it too tight.
Do you do the cornrows like that? So when you do the cornrows, how do you make it stay?
As far as what, when you come to the end of them?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll just get a few different styles on our head. Let me show you. What I typically do with my customers, y'all, I'm lefty, so I'm braided at the scalp. Usually what I do, once I get to the end where I want to stop, I braid it off the scalp a little bit further. Okay. And then just kind of work it back into the hair. That keeps you from having to use any rubber bands or anything like that. Now, if you feel like you're afraid that it's going to unravel, you can easily put a bobby pin. But if you get to the end and braid it off a little bit away from the scalp, then it won't unravel. Also, if you were to take it after you got to the end and twirled it, that'll lock it. Okay? Now, is anybody familiar with the two-strand twist? Yeah. Are you familiar with how to do it to the scalp? No. Okay. Let me show you. Okay. It's similar to the braiding, but instead you have two strings. Okay? You start them off just like this, and you twirl it. Twirl it twice, and you pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Until you get as far as you want. And that gives you the rope. That gives you the rope. So you just start with your two pieces. I'll do it again. Okay, you start with the two, and you twirl twice, and then you pick up. And what I mean by pick up is you pick up from the scalp. As you go back, you pick a little bit of the hair up. You just slightly keep going back until you pick it up. Yeah. Am I really that short? Now, one of the tricks with the TWA is that if you don't want it, always push back off of your face, but it's too short to actually, because of that weight, it's not enough weight to actually hang. You can take a section and actually pin it at the root. So that'll give you kind of that illusion of a bang where it kind of drops a little bit. So that'll give you a little more variety to your styling versus always having to have it going back. Okay? That's how you got here. Yes. Now the one thing, yes ma'am. The one thing about natural is all trial and error. What works for Mrs. Shanda's hair and my hair may not work for you based upon texture. So you have to really experiment with it because it is trial and error. Even with products, what may work for me may not work for you based upon what it is that you're looking for. Because of my texture is typically, it's coily, but it can be drier sometimes. So I like products. A lot of people don't like the products that you can actually feel, but I love them because I need that moisture. I don't mind feeling it. But it's just, again, it's up to how you like it. And so this would be a style, of course, with all of them being the same. But this would be a style for a TWA.